The one piece of paper that has emerged in this case that is the most important piece of paper of all is this one. This document, People's Exhibit 35, is the smoking gun document in this first ever criminal trial of an American president. It is a bank statement showing the wire transfer of $130,000 to the representative for Stormy Daniels. It's the bank record showing that the hush money payment was in fact made. And on the bottom of the bank statement, on the right, you see what we now know is Michael Cohen's handwriting, showing something else he wants to be reimbursed for, since we now understand he's leaving the Trump organization. At this point, he wants to make sure in this last payment that's coming to him, this other money the Trump organization owes him is going to be included. That's on the bottom right side of this piece of paper. On the bottom left side of this piece of paper, you see different handwriting. This is handwriting from the Trump organization's CFO, Alan Weisselberg. And it's him doing the math. This is how much Michael Cohen is owed. Since we're going to lie and say this is income for him instead of the reimbursement that it actually is, that means he's going to have to pay taxes on it. So here's how much we'll add to what we're paying him to account for the taxes he's going to have to pay. Here's the add additional bonus line, because he said he was owed money on his annual bonus and he's never getting another one because he's leaving the organization. Here's the over 12 part at the bottom there. That means we're going to pay it over 12 months. So it's $420,000 over 12 months. That's $35,000 a month. That's Alan Weisselberg doing the math. That document, People's Exhibit 35, what prosecutors have laid out is that that is the smoking gun document that shows the crime. It shows what the payment was really for and how it was disguised as something else in the business records of the Trump organization. And it was disguised as something else in order to conceal its true nature, because its true nature was that it was a campaign expenditure. That's the prosecution's case. That document shows the crime. And we have seen this document before in this trial. But today, Michael Cohen testified for the first time that Trump was there for it. That he, Michael Cohen, and Alan Weisselberg, the Trump CFO, talked it over, during which time they made those notes on that piece of paper. That's why there's two different sets of handwriting on that piece of paper. After the two of them marked up that piece of paper the way I just described, they then took that piece of paper and marched it down to Donald Trump's office on the 26th floor of Trump Tower. And with that paper in hand, the three of them had a discussion about what exactly they were doing and why they were doing it. And he said, do it. Prosecutor, following the meeting with Mr. Weisselberg and both of you adding that handwriting to People's Exhibit 35, what did you do and where did the two of you go at that time? Answer. We went to Mr. Trump's office in order to speak to him about this. Question. Now, when was this approximately? Answer. Right before Mr. Trump left for the inauguration. Question. So he was still at Trump Tower at that time? Answer. Yes. What did you understand he was engaged in at Trump Tower at that time? Answer. Being president-elect. Was he at meetings at Trump Tower? Yes. Now, what happened when you went into Mr. Trump's office to have this discussion with him? During the conversation, Alan turned around and said to me, while we were talking about this, and what we're going to do is we're going to pay you over 12 months. I think the indication here from the transcript is that Cohen then sort of rebutted that. It was probably better if I get it in one lump sum. No, no, no. Why don't you do it as over 12 months and it will be paid out to you monthly? Question. And did he say anything about how it would be paid out as something? Answer. Yeah, as like a legal service rendered, since I was then being given the title as personal attorney to the president. Question. So was this conversation that you had with Mr. Weisselberg in Mr. Trump's office with Mr. Trump? Answer. Yes. Question. And did Mr. Weisselberg have with him this document, People's Exhibit 35? Answer. He did. Question. And did he show this document to Mr. Trump? Answer. Yes. Question. And did Mr. Weisselberg say in front of Mr. Trump how much you were going to be paid in total? Answer. It was going to be divided by 12 and it's $35,000 a month, and that they would actually start making the payments in February, not January, because there was a lot going on with Mr. Trump moving to D.C., the inauguration and so on. Question. And so was it stated, did Mr. Weisselberg state in front of Mr. Trump that you were going to receive $420,000 over the course of 12 months? Answer. Yes. Question. And what, if anything, did Mr. Trump say at the time? Answer. He approved it. And he also said, this is going to be one heck of a ride in D.C. Question. And did Mr. Weisselberg say in front of Mr. Trump that those monthly payments would be, like a retainer for legal services? Answer. Yes. Question. Now, you mentioned something before, but I just wanted to question you about it. Did you say something to the effect that you had a sense they had spoken about this previously? Answer. Yes. Why do you say that? Because they always played that sort of game, of frickin' frack type game. And I had been around that office more than enough to realize that this conversation had already taken place between the two. And when I asked for the 420, Mr. Trump said, no, it's better. It's better to do it over the 12 months. Trump defense counsel Todd Blanche, Your Honor, objection to that answer and move to strike. The judge overruled. Question. And when Alan Weisselberg laid out the plan of how much you were going to get paid and over what months and showed Mr. Trump this document, did Mr. Trump try to renegotiate? Answer, no. So he approved it at that point? Answer, yes. Now, at some point, did Mr. Trump confirm to you that he was going to give you the title of personal attorney or personal counsel to the president? Answer, yes. When in relation to this meeting was that? Answer, around this same exact time. And it was the $420,000 that you were going to receive back from Mr. Trump going to be payment for future legal services as personal counsel? Answer, that was what it was designed to be. Well, what was it actually? Answer, reimbursement of my money. Question, it was repayment of which monies? Answer, it was a repayment of the Stormy Daniels payment. Question, now you said that you believe this occurred at Trump Tower some days before Mr. Trump actually left for Washington. Is that right? Answer, correct. Did Mr. Weisselberg have with him this document, People's Exhibit 35? He did. Did he show this document to Mr. Trump? Yes. Michael Cohen testifying today for the first time that just before leaving to be inaugurated as president of the United States, Donald Trump reviewed the smoking gun document that laid out the crime. He then talked in detail about the crime with his CFO and with Michael Cohen, and he said, quote, do it. Quote, he approved it. So if there's anything in this case that isn't just plainly black letter proven by the documents and the records, if there's anything else that we have been waiting for in testimony from witnesses, this is probably it, right?